Today, we're diving into The Power of One More by Ed Mylett, a book that challenges us to think differently about how we approach success and personal growth. Ed Mylett isn't just an entrepreneur and motivational speaker. He's someone who has lived through incredible highs and lows and come out on top by embracing the philosophy of always doing one more. Before becoming the powerhouse he is today, Mylett had humble beginnings. Raised in a middle-class family, he faced plenty of personal struggles early on, including watching his father battle alcoholism. That experience shaped Ed's drive to never settle for mediocrity and inspired him to develop the principles he shares in this book. He built a career that took him from working odd jobs to becoming a multi-millionaire entrepreneur and one of the most influential personal development coaches in the world. The Power of One More wasn't written in a vacuum. Ed created this philosophy after realizing that every major success he achieved in life, whether in his business, his relationships, or his personal growth, came from doing just a little more than what was expected. One more phone call when he was exhausted. One more kind word when it mattered most. One more effort when everyone else gave up. This one more mindset became the key to unlocking his full potential, and in this book, he shows us how we can apply that same approach to change our lives. So, let's get into the heart of what the Power of One More is all about. Key concepts. 1. The One More philosophy. The core idea is beautifully simple. Success doesn't come from massive, life-changing actions. It comes from the small, consistent efforts that build over time. What makes you extraordinary isn't the giant leap, but rather the willingness to do just a little bit more than others. Mylett encourages readers to always ask themselves, what's one more thing I can do today to get closer to my goal? For example, if you're in sales, it's making that one more phone call after you've already hit your quota for the day. If you're working on yourself, it's reading just one more chapter, doing one more set at the gym, or spending one more minute in meditation. These small, seemingly insignificant efforts compound and create massive results over time. 2. The power of identity. One of the most profound themes in The Power of One More is the idea that our actions are a reflection of how we see ourselves. Mylett dives deep into the psychology behind identity and argues that the key to changing your life lies in changing how you see yourself. Let's break it down. If you see yourself as someone capable of greatness, someone who can push past limits, then you will naturally start striving for more in everything you do. For example, think about a person who sees themselves as a high achiever. They wake up each day believing they're capable of handling challenges. So when an obstacle comes their way, their response is, I can do this. Let's go one step further. They make that extra call, take on that additional task, and eventually that attitude compounds into real success. On the flip side, someone who believes they're always falling short will act in ways that align with that identity, avoiding risks, giving up easily, and feeling stuck. Mylett explains that this is more than just wishful thinking. It's about consciously elevating your self-image. He calls this an identity shift. You need to start identifying as the person you want to become, not just the person you are today. Let's say you want to become a successful entrepreneur. Ask yourself, what would a successful entrepreneur do? How do they think, act, and handle challenges? Once you start seeing yourself in that light, your actions will naturally align with this new version of yourself. Take Ed's own story as an example. When he was younger, he didn't see himself as successful. He struggled with self-doubt, especially while watching his father's battle with alcoholism. But when he started to believe that he could achieve more, when he shifted his identity to that of someone who was destined for greatness, his actions followed suit. He made better decisions, took more risks, and ultimately built an extraordinary career. Mylett's message is clear. Change your identity, and you change your life. 3. Mental mastery. We've all been there. Those moments where our minds play tricks on us. You've probably had times where you were about to take action, but then your brain chimed in with thoughts like, you're too tired, it's too late, or you're not good enough. It's like having a personal critic that shows up just when you need to be at your best. Mylett explores this in The Power of One More, offering tools to conquer those mental battles. According to him, the most successful people have learned how to control their minds instead of letting their minds control them. This is what he calls mental mastery, the ability to dominate your thoughts and push past internal barriers. A big part of this is positive self-talk. Mylett believes that the way you speak to yourself matters just as much as the actions you take. If your internal dialogue is full of negativity, you're going to sabotage your progress. On the flip side, when you actively replace those negative thoughts with affirmations and encouragement, you build the mental resilience needed to keep going. Here's a practical example. Imagine you're working out and you hit that wall where everything in you wants to quit. If you tell yourself, "I'm tired, I can't do this," you'll probably stop. But if you flip the script and say, "I've got this, I can push through one more set," it becomes easier to find that extra burst of energy. Over time, this kind of positive self-talk becomes automatic, and it spills over into every part of your life: work, relationships, personal goals. Mylett suggests keeping an ear out for how you talk to yourself in those tough moments. If you catch yourself being overly critical, take control. Replace it with empowering statements like, "I can do one more," or "I am capable of achieving this." The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to push through challenges and achieve more than you thought possible. 4. Creating leverage with one more. The one more philosophy doesn't just apply to personal development or self-mastery. It's a game changer in leadership and relationships as well. Mylett talks about how small, seemingly insignificant actions can create leverage, the ability to influence others in a meaningful way. Let's start with leadership. Imagine you're leading a team at work, and you make it a habit to go the extra mile for them, whether it's staying a little longer to provide guidance or offering one more piece of constructive feedback. That small act can have a huge impact. Your team members will feel valued, supported, and motivated to perform at their best. Sometimes that extra effort might just be offering one more word of encouragement during a tough project, or spending one more minute listening to their concerns. Mylett explains that this kind of leadership sets you apart because people remember how you make them feel. When they know that you're willing to give just a little bit more for them, they'll be more likely to give that extra effort themselves. And this doesn't just apply to teams. It works in all types of relationships. Maybe it's sending one more text to check in on a friend, or making time for one more meaningful conversation with a family member. These little actions create trust, deepen connections, and transform how people see you. A great example is in Ed's own life. He often talks about how he makes it a priority to give one more moment of attention to his wife and kids. Whether it's staying just a little longer to chat or taking the time to show appreciation, those extra efforts compound and strengthen his relationships over time. It's about being intentional and recognizing that even the smallest actions can have a lasting impact. 5. Embracing discomfort. Let's be real. Doing one more is not always comfortable. In fact, Mylett is quick to point out that discomfort is exactly where growth happens. If you're constantly staying in your comfort zone, you're not stretching yourself. Mylett calls this building emotional muscle, the ability to endure discomfort and push through challenges longer than most people are willing to. Think about a tough workout. You're on that last set, and your body is screaming at you to stop. Most people will listen to that discomfort and give up. But if you can embrace that discomfort and push through just one more rep, you build both physical and mental strength. Mylett argues that this is true in all areas of life, whether it's business, fitness, or personal development. Success comes to those who can sit with discomfort and keep going. An example in the business world could be when you're on a sales call or pitching an idea. Maybe things aren't going smoothly and you feel like quitting. But pushing through that awkward or difficult moment, making one more effort, can be the difference between closing a deal or missing out. It's those moments where you choose to persist, despite the discomfort, that set you apart from others. Mylett himself lives by this principle. He shares stories about pushing through personal and professional challenges, from financial struggles to personal setbacks, and how doing just one more got him to where he is today. He emphasizes that the willingness to embrace discomfort is what will ultimately bring you success and set you apart from the average person. In The Power of One More, Ed Mylett gives us a practical, powerful roadmap for creating lasting success by consistently pushing past our limits. Through identity shifts, mental mastery, small acts of influence, and embracing discomfort, the One More philosophy becomes the key to unlocking greatness in every area of your life.
Small wins lead to big success.
One of Mylett's major takeaways is that big success is built on small, consistent actions. You don't need to completely change your life in a single day to achieve your goals. Instead, focus on small wins, small but meaningful improvements that compound over time. This might look like doing just a little bit more each day, like making one extra sales call, exercising for one more minute, or spending a little more time learning something new. These actions, although minor on their own, add up and eventually lead to significant progress. The beauty of this approach is that it's sustainable. Many people burn out by trying to make drastic changes too quickly. By focusing on manageable, incremental improvements, you not only avoid overwhelm, but also create momentum. Mylett argues that success isn't about perfection. It's about consistently doing a little bit better than the day before. These small wins help build your confidence, create habits, and set the stage for larger achievements down the road. You can redefine yourself. Mylett emphasizes that your identity, the way you see yourself, plays a critical role in shaping your reality. If you view yourself as someone who is always falling short, you will unconsciously act in ways that affirm that identity. But if you begin to see yourself as capable, resilient, and deserving of success, your actions will naturally start aligning with that vision. Essentially, you are what you believe yourself to be, and shifting that belief is key to achieving more in life. This insight is incredibly empowering because it means you're not stuck with the limitations you've placed on yourself in the past. You have the power to redefine your identity and, by extension, your future. If you want to be a more successful entrepreneur, a better leader, or a fitter version of yourself, start thinking and acting like the person you want to become. Mylett encourages readers to actively step into the identity of their future selves, which opens up new possibilities for growth and success. Your identity doesn't have to be fixed, it's malleable, and by changing it, you can change your outcomes. The power of resilience. A core theme in Mylett's philosophy is resilience, the ability to keep going when things get tough. The one more mindset is built on the idea that doing that one extra thing, especially when it's uncomfortable or when others are giving up, is what sets great achievers apart. Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's a skill that can be developed through practice. By constantly pushing yourself to do just a little bit more, even when you don't feel like it, you build a kind of emotional toughness that becomes a competitive advantage. In a world where many people quit as soon as things get hard, being the person who keeps going makes all the difference. Resilience isn't about being perfect. It's about getting back up after a setback and pushing forward, one more step at a time. Whether it's in fitness, business, or personal development, Mylett stresses that resilience is often the deciding factor between success and failure. It's not the people who never face adversity who succeed, but those who have the grit to endure and keep pushing, even when it's hard. One more act of kindness or attention can transform your relationships. Mylett highlights that the one more mindset isn't just for personal gain. It's also a powerful tool for improving relationships. Whether you're in a leadership role or simply trying to strengthen your personal connections, going the extra mile can have a transformative effect. For example, in leadership, giving one more piece of constructive feedback or offering one more moment of encouragement can inspire your team to go above and beyond. People remember how you make them feel, and small acts of kindness and attention can have a huge impact. In your personal life, this concept applies just as strongly. One more text to check in on a friend, one more compliment to a loved one, or one more moment of listening can deepen your relationships in meaningful ways. Mylett argues that relationships thrive on intentionality, and by consistently giving just a little more, you show others that you value and care about them. These seemingly small actions build trust, foster loyalty, and can strengthen both professional and personal bonds. In a world where many people are rushing through interactions, taking that extra moment can make you stand out and create stronger, more authentic connections. Ed Mylett's The Power of One More is filled with practical steps that allow you to apply the one more mindset to different areas of your life. He doesn't just leave you with the theory, but offers actionable ways to integrate this approach, helping you push past your limits and create meaningful changes. Here's how you can apply it in fitness, business, personal growth, and relationships. In fitness. When it comes to fitness, Mylett's principle of one more is simple but powerful. You're in the middle of a workout and about to finish your last set. Instead of stopping there, challenge yourself to do one more rep. If you're on a run and hitting the point of exhaustion, push for one more minute. These small extra efforts may seem minor in the moment, but over time they build both physical endurance and mental toughness. It's in those moments of discomfort that real growth happens. This approach doesn't just make you stronger physically, it also conditions your mind to push past perceived limits, training you to reach further than you thought possible. Consistently embracing the one more mindset in fitness will accelerate your progress, as you're always striving for that extra bit of improvement. In business, Mylett explains how the one more concept can have a transformative effect in the business world. Whether you're in sales, management, or entrepreneurship, the idea of doing just a little bit more can significantly boost your performance. For example, if you're a salesperson, making one more call at the end of the day could be the difference between closing a deal or missing out. If you're working on a project, taking one more minute to review and refine your approach might lead to a breakthrough idea or solution. It's about consistently doing more than what's expected, which can elevate your results over time. This extra effort not only sets you apart from the competition, but also helps you build a reputation for going above and beyond, leading to more opportunities and success in the long run. In personal growth, personal development is an area where the one more mindset can have a compounding effect. Mylett encourages you to engage in activities that foster growth, like reading, meditating, or journaling, and then go one more step beyond your normal routine. For instance, if you're reading a book on self-improvement, instead of stopping after one chapter, read one more to deepen your knowledge. If you meditate for 10 minutes a day, push yourself to do one more minute to enhance your mindfulness practice. The idea is that these small extra efforts, consistently applied, accelerate your growth. They help you develop habits that lead to long-term success. Over time, this mindset rewires your brain to believe that you're always capable of doing a little more, which creates momentum and keeps you moving forward on your personal development journey. In relationships, Mylett highlights that the one more principle is not just about personal achievements, but can also dramatically improve your relationships. Imagine how much stronger your connections would be if you made it a habit to give one more compliment, send one more text to check in, or spend one more moment actively listening to someone you care about. These little gestures of kindness and attention can have a profound impact on how others feel valued and appreciated. For example, sending an unexpected message to a friend or family member, telling them how much you appreciate them, might brighten their day and strengthen your bond. This approach applies to romantic, familial, and professional relationships alike. Just taking that extra step shows that you care, and it can transform how people perceive and respond to you. In leadership roles, showing one more act of support or giving one more moment of feedback can make a significant difference in your team's morale and performance. By integrating the one more mindset into these key areas of life, Mylett offers a simple yet powerful way to push your limits, improve your results, and strengthen your relationships. These small but intentional actions create a ripple effect that can lead to lasting, significant change. The Power of One More by Ed Mylett is more than just a motivational book. It's a practical guide to maximizing your potential by focusing on small, incremental efforts. The idea is simple but powerful. You're always just one more away from a breakthrough. Whether you want to improve your career, relationships, health, or mindset, adopting this philosophy can make a huge impact. That's it for today's book summary. Remember, success is just one more step away, so keep pushing forward. Stay tuned for the next episode in our 30-30-30 series, where we invite you to join us for 30 life-changing books in 30 days.